Hi, this is Aaron Wilson. We're talking Texans stock report, the ups, the downs, and the in-between of the defending AFC South champions. And a lot of this has to do with the body of work throughout training camp, but also the most recent handiwork or lack thereof from the Texans. And Tuesday's workout was interesting because with the pads on, it's been something of an equalizer for the offense. The offensive line has done a better job against Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter, who was just completely running free. It looked like recess, and kids let out just running after the quarterback and getting after C.J. Stroud. And so it's been tough out there, tough sledding for the offensive line. But this was a better performance, and they're starting to give him more time to throw. And you saw C.J., with the exception of his interception to Kalen Bullock, who's good at picking off passes, you saw C.J. take good care of the football and complete a lot of passes. So I thought that was good on the part of the offense. I saw Dalton Schultz get deep behind the defense. He has created some separation, and he's looking like a guy. We haven't talked to Dalton since last season in the locker room at Arrowhead Stadium when he acknowledged that there's some things he wants to do better. It looks like Dalton's had a pretty good offseason since missing some time in the spring, and I am generally encouraged by Dalton and his ability to, I think, play a little more like the first year that he was here in Houston after leaving the Dallas Cowboys in free agency. Cade Stover continues to get open and look explosive and lean, and just someone that does everything very aggressively. You just probably saw my conversation with Cade, and you kind of see what he's all about. The passion for the game, the grit, the blue-collar work ethic, the farming lifestyle, all of that stuff. Mr. John Deere, he's got his own personalized John Deere truck. So, yeah, I thought that it went better, but there's still some issues with the offensive line, and that was Blake Fisher. And when he had his false start, offense coordinator Nick Haley took him out, and they put in Zach Thomas, the former Patriots offensive lineman. And so I thought that was interesting to see that they would do that with the offensive line. So everybody always asks me, what is the offensive line? So this time it was Cam Robinson, who's the favorite to be the left tackle. I think he will be. Laken Tomlinson at left guard. He's been a mainstay. Jake Andrews at center. He's played more first-team center than Jarrett Patterson, and I believe he is the favorite to win the job. Titus Howard is looking comfortable at right guard. Looks solid there. And then Ariante Ursary, he's had his moments as the right tackle, and he's the rookie from Minnesota, and I think he has a real chance to make an impact. And yeah, for Blake Fisher, time could be running out. They may decide this after they see how the Texans look against the Minnesota Vikings, because they want to build the timing and chemistry of the first-team line. So this could be heading to a conclusion for this offensive line competition. And no, we haven't seen a Jalen Thomas or a Juice Scruggs or an Ed Ingram challenge the guards. In my opinion, again, they can say there's always competition. I understand that. You can say whatever you want about that, but here's what I believe. They know that Laken Tomlinson and Titus Howard are the guards. They know that Cam Robinson is going to be the left tackle. And they are just trying to decide if Ariante Ursary, their rookie from Minnesota, the former Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year, who blocked Abdul Carter very well in the Penn State game, is he going to beat out Blake Fisher, their second-round draft pick last year from Notre Dame? And it is trending that way, but as I say, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. So we'll see what happens and what's going to happen at the end of this opera. It's going to be a song for Ariante Ursary, with him being an instant rookie starter, or are they going to watch for a little while? I don't think they're going to wait. He is that big, that tough and physical, and he looks good out there. Not perfect, but he's a rookie. He's going to make some mistakes. You have to kind of be somewhat accepting of the learning curve for a young player. But I like what I'm seeing from him. I like his upside. Going back to C.J. Stroud, his best play was a long completion to Christian Kirk, who just continues to build timing and chemistry with him on those option routes. Those guys are starting to speak the same language. I thought Davis Mills did some good work, and they had a slower start, but they got better. So those were some things that kind of jumped out at me. And then there's still more penalties than you'd like to have, and it negates some of the positives, like a Dalton Schultz play or going over the middle to Brevin Jordan, all those sorts of things. With Jalen Petrie back, we got to see something we didn't know, and I kind of figured it would happen, but Jaden Higgins can take a hit. Jalen Petrie rocked him, and he jumped up. He dislodged the football. Yes, he did not catch that pass, but Higgins took the hit and came back later, and I thought made a really good play on the ball on a high Davis Mills pass. So that was good. And yeah, they said that it wasn't a catch. Some people thought it was a catch, but I thought that he did catch the football. So that was good by him. And overall, like I said, the offensive line better, and some tough moments for Blake Fisher. So that's still happening. They're still having trouble with Danielle Hunter, and he's getting past Cam Robinson most of the time, but it wasn't as glaring as some other encounters they've had. So I thought that was good. I've been very impressed with Solomon Byrd. I think that's good to see what he's doing along with Darrell Taylor. Encouraging to see Darrell after he got dinged a little bit on Monday. He was practicing. By the way, on Petrie, I heard it was just a very minor tweak of his ankle. And Arthur Millette also on the injury front. Arthur had a head injury, not sure if it's a concussion, but something with his head, and that's why he was in the red jersey signifying no contact. So whether he's actually in the protocol, I don't know, but he had some sort of head injury, hit his head, and that's why he didn't practice for a little bit, and now he's back out there, and I would imagine that they'll get him out of the red jersey as long as he didn't have any setbacks, so that he'll be full go when they hit the field Wednesday morning. And so that'll be interesting to see with Arthur Millette. Still no Christian Harris. Still working on the side with his calf injury that derailed last season for him and cost him this spring. With Christian, it's a process, and they haven't gotten to a point yet where they feel comfortable putting him out there. I'm told Derek Barnett, I don't know why he's not practicing. He's on the PUP list. I'm told it's something that he should be back in a few weeks. So he needs more time. He's not ready yet. And I think it's the same situation for Foley Fatukasi, who had off-season shoulder surgery. So they're taking their time with those guys. Trent Brown, same thing, working on the side. And he's medically cleared to have football activities, meaning he's cleared to run. And so that was interesting. Agent Drew Rosenhaus in the house today, the super agent from South Beach. So Drew was there. He represents Tommy Townsend and Nico Collins and Irv Smith Jr. So he's got a couple of players. So sighting of him. You guys probably saw my conversation with Derek Stingley Jr. Enjoyed talking to Derek about the defense, and we even talked a little bit about the team that led the NFL and set the record for interceptions. The San Diego Chargers in 1961 had 49 interceptions. Last year the Texans had 19 and the Vikings had 24. What if the Texans could somehow get close to those Chargers numbers? I think they'd probably stop throwing the football, but I don't know what was going on out there, but those Chargers, they were picking off passes back in the day, wearing those powder blue jerseys, and I couldn't name the defensive backs from 1961. I'm not that old. I wasn't alive in 1961, but yeah, it was in the 70s I was born. But anyway, I digress. With Sting, cool to talk to him, on top of his game, the consummate All-Pro, and he says he's out to prove people right about that $90 million extension. And I learned a little bit about Sting, and I know he's a big movie guy. He told me about that. Not a big cook. He can make eggs, he said. I know that. Scramble a couple of eggs, things like that. Even made an omelet or two before, but I'm not the cook in the family. That's my wife, Shannon. She's a great cook. So, and she also makes these thumbnails. Guys, shout out to Shannon. She is coming through with these thumbnails, and they are fire, as the young people say. So I am very, very proud of her for many things, and for the thumbnails. And of course, we had our 5-year wedding anniversary this month in Austin. So just happy anniversary to Shannon. So it's still our anniversary month. 5 years ago, we got married on July the 19th, right before training camp, of course, before the season. Like any beat writer, you got to take care of business before the season because it gets really busy. But I love it. I have a lot of fun with this, and I appreciate everybody that's joining the channel. We are close to 12,000, as I thought we would be. And then the next goal after that will be 13,000, and 14,000, and 15,000. And the more followers we get, As you guys probably know, I'm going to go to West Virginia. I'll be at the Greenbrier Resort. Not staying there, but I'll be staying nearby in Lewisburg and bringing you guys a lot of coverage, videos, articles, and of course, we'll have some type of conversation where I answer your questions and I see all your comments. So there's going to be more of this. So we're kind of just getting warmed up. Going back to some things from the practice and kind of where things are headed. With the backfield, yes, Nick Chubb basically acknowledged he's not quite there yet. He's working his way back. He's trying to get in good shape by running extra. And, he said something that's very true. There aren't a lot of holes to run through sometimes. He wasn't knocking the offensive line, but the defense is just getting the ball so fast that it's tough for him to show a lot. The quickest back has been Jahar Jordan by far. But I still don't think that they're going to lean on Jahar and have him unseat Nick Chubb. I think Joe Mixon will be back. And I think he doesn't like preseason football a whole lot, and he did have a, legitimate injury this offseason. So they'll take their time with him. These preseason games don't matter. These practices, in a way, other than when it comes to getting ready for the season, it's not that important. It's not important who wins every rep or the stats of the practice. It's about getting better and being good enough against the Los Angeles Rams and the entire season. So those things matter. There's been some impressive plays by Jalen Smith, the rookie corner. He has really jumped out more to me than the other reserve corners behind Kamar Lasser and Derek Stingley Jr. So he's been breaking up some passes. I think he's in line to be the third corner, not Damon Arnett Jr. And I've also thought good things about Miles Bryant when he's filled in at nickel, and he just seems to always find his way onto the roster, along with D'Angelo Ross for special teams and other good backups like Jake Hansen that make plays. On the defensive line, I've seen good stuff from Tim Settle Jr. and Mario Edwards Jr. I'm starting to see some plays from Dylan Horton. So we're talking about some of the backups, and they're doing a good job. Sheldon Rankins, as you guys saw, detailed his battle. I knew that he had that. I wanted to ask him about it, and he did. He opened up about the viral meningitis and the shingles. Wow, he went through a lot. He lost 50 pounds. He's back out there. He looks great. And so it's really important that they have Sheldon, and Sheldon is a great mentor to Will Anderson Jr. They have a very good relationship, and they formed that when they had Will was the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. As Sheldon said, the culture is set. I agree with that. The culture is set. The Texans have a winning, positive culture, good vibes, and if they didn't, I would tell you. But I don't think they're having any type of chemistry issues at all. John Mitchell III is making a few plays. He's playing better than he did early in camp. J.J. Taylor is back out there. He's getting some yards. So he's doing a pretty good job. He's about 5'6". He's a short running back, but he is quick. He is tough. He played for the Patriots previously. And I think he does a good job. So they'll be back on the field on Wednesday. They'll be off on Thursday, back on Friday, and Saturday. Sunday is a travel day for myself and for the team, and they'll get settled into the Greenbrier. They might even leave on Saturday. I got to check that, but I know that they don't have a practice. Maybe they're leaving Saturday night. We'll see. But Sunday, they'll be there at the Greenbrier. Then Monday morning, we'll have practice, and it's a very fancy facility. And so, we're bringing the sights and sounds of West Virginia. I look forward to providing some coverage for you guys and for KPRC2. Of course, that's my bread and butter, working with Randy McElroy and everybody, all the great people at Channel 2. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited to go and represent KPRC in West Virginia. This will be my third time going to the Greenbrier. I was there previously when I worked for the Houston Chronicle. I had a good time and got some good content out of it. So I think it's going to be a really, really good thing to go to West Virginia. And of course, it's a little cooler there. I think that'll be good. Overall, as things shape up, the defense is still a lot better than the offense. The running game is a concern without Mixon. Yes, receiving core looks promising. Tight end looks like it's improving. C.J. Stroud, not a lot of deep throws by him. I know there's been some people wondering about that. I think he's making the throws that they're asking him to make. I don't know. I think they're trying to install the run game If he was in some type of pain or discomfort back from the spring when he had the shoulder issue, they would get him out of there. They give him a day off. That's not a problem. I don't think that there's anything to be alarmed about just yet. I think that they just have, he's throwing some longer passes here and there. I think that all of this is by design. Nick Caley makes these play calls. It's not like they're out there trying to run a game plan and audible and win a football game. It's practice. You're working on things, trying to improve. So I brought up a lot of guys here, but I want to kind of go through the depth chart here and try to hit on some others that I didn't discuss yet. Jalen Noel has been very impressive. I'd be remiss not to mention Jalen. Jalen's made some plays. Jalen is really, really fast after the catch. He is tough. He's very, very tough. Of the backup linemen, I've liked Jalen Thomas a lot, the former SMU player. So I think he's done a good job. I noticed Ed Ingram's on a lot of things like the extra point, the field goal team kind of says, they see him as a backup. And Juice Scruggs hasn't made his move. We haven't seen Juice, really get in the mix here. So it is what it is with him. With Jakob Johnson, I think that he's going to be the fullback. And I think they're going to use a fullback. That's something they've done before in offenses that Nick Caley's been associated with. Remember, he coached James Devlin when he coached the tight ends and the fullbacks with the Patriots. And they had a pretty successful run doing that. Looking at some of the other backups, just not jumping out a ton, but I think Graham Mertz has made some good throws. Graham looks like he throws pretty good football and has made a good comeback from his torn ACL last year with the Florida Gators. Braxton Berrios, the best returner by far on the squad. Justin Watson has had his moments as a possession receiver. Jared Wayne didn't practice. I'm not sure why. And I don't think it's anything serious. Woody Marks has done a good job catching the football. Needs to make a few more plays in the running game. Irv Smith Jr. is still a really good blocker. I don't know if the numbers are going to work out for him, but we'll see. Daniel Jackson is an intriguing undrafted wide receiver from Minnesota. Keep an eye out for him in the second half of these preseason games. I think he's going to make some noise. Going over to defense, Henry To'oTo'o has been solid. Good pursuit angles, what you would expect from Henry. Very good football player, former Alabama guy, and best friends with Christian Harris. And Christian, unfortunately, is just not healthy enough to play at this time. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he's fitting in. Everybody's talking about C.J. and feels like he's been exactly what they'd hoped for. And then, looking at Daniel Autry, just go over a couple health situations. His knee, probably missed most of the preseason. Not really a priority necessarily to get him out there early. He's 35 years old. He knows how to play. He'll eventually be out there. E.J. Speed has really flashed to me among the linebackers as well. In addition, Aziz Al-Shire looking a little bit better in pass coverage. Pardon me. I talk about pass protection so much, I have it on the brain. And so it's been good to see him. Tremont Smith has been one of the better corners among the backups. I've seen some pop from Jalen Reed, really hard-hitting mobile safety. And, yeah, I think, it's kind of an incomplete picture. But Kurt Heinisch, I think he's dealing with some kind of knee issue. Not a major knee issue, but it's painful enough that he's not practicing just yet. So he's still on that reserve list, along with Foley Fatukasi and others. And they did work out some defensive tackles. We'll see if they want to add someone to the roster. Of the younger guys, Junior Tafuna has jumped out. And, of course, Solomon Burt. We've talked a lot about his improvement and his progress, and I think he does a really good job. So it's been interesting to watch him. And Dameon Pierce was a kick return candidate. Also, I think would help the backfield if he was healthy. Still working up to full speed from a strained quadriceps, but making progress. So strained quadriceps, as I reported before, in the spring, and that's why he missed time and why he's missing time now. So, guys, appreciate everybody tuning in with me and going around on the stock report as we go around the team. If I had to say stock up, Ariante Ursary, stock down, Blake Fisher, and I would say stock up, Kate Stover, and I think about a stock down. I really feel like, with Nick Chubb, I'm kind of it's neutral, but it's definitely not up because he's just not making those big plays. And, in general, stock up a little bit on the offensive line. As a collective, they were better. D-line, stock couldn't be any higher for the defensive line and for players like Derek Stingley Jr., but there's a reason why they're Pro Bowl guys, because they're some of the best in the NFL. So guys, please watch, like, subscribe here and on my social media at AaronWilson_NFL, Instagram AaronWilson7128. Watch me on KPRC2 TV, please. And also read my stuff at www.click2houston.com. All of my content is free of charge. There is, of course, a subscribe button and tip button, all that stuff here. That is completely optional. But yeah, you can watch my content for free. And I appreciate you guys' support. And the Google ads, they support the channel. And of course, the good people at KPRC. And this is our new polo. So got some new polos today. Appreciate the folks at KPRC for the new gear. So I got some new swag, and I like it. I got this one, I got a blue one, I got a red one they ordered for me, so can't wait to get that red one, and I'll be rocking them when I go to West Virginia, to Sulphur Springs, home of the Greenbrier Resort, a wonderful place. We went to Mike D'Antoni's house one of the times we were there. Got some pizza with him and his wife, great people. Went to the Jerry West Steakhouse, and I promise to be your eyes and ears at the Greenbrier as the Texans relocate training camp, and then for Minnesota as they take on the Vikings, Skull Country. And we'll get into all of that. So lots of coverage to come. Guys, thanks so much. Really appreciate you, and I'm having a lot of fun with YouTube, as I've said more than once. Hope I'm not a broken record, but yeah, I'm definitely enthusiastic and enjoying myself. Until next time, talk soon.